am Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we did not coordinate this, but we are all in Christmas colors.
Yeah.
I have a
Oh,
Christmas shirt.
funny. I'm not in a Christmas shirt, but it's my favorite sweater. It's kind of
Well,
red and green. It's more maroon.
I walked out in this shirt because, Robert wanted to talk to me first thing in the morning. He saw my shirt and goes, "That's a cute shirt."
well,
Who
I
are you and what have you done with my son?
was so sure when I was gonna put on a shirt for this morning. I was so sure that I had my one and only Christmas T-shirt that says "Claus is coming to town," and it's a cat, that I bought, I guess last year for the church party, Christmas party, or whatever. And so I'm like looking in my closet, looking.
It's packed.
It had to be because I couldn't find it anywhere. But I was so sure I had seen it.
Oh.
But
You'll find it tomorrow.
well, I went through that closet twice.
So we have a centerpiece this week.
Yes.
So that is a Santa that I made from a panel, a fabric panel, years and years and years ago. His arms, I think he's so cute. He's part of my Santa collection. His arms and legs are just they're just fabric, and then his little hands and feet are stuffed. And this is a cross stitch that Beth made me, which is also part of my Santa collection at home. And I took them all out this weekend, and so I grabbed him to bring him for a centerpiece today. But I love that Santa. One of his pant cuffs is stained like a pink color because I used to have one of my Santas is a metal cone, and it has his hat goes like this around, and you're supposed to put a candle in there, and it came with a red candle. And dumb stupid me, I put it in a box with all my Santas, and the color of that candle in the heat over the summer melted a little, and the candle didn't liquefy or anything, but I guess it was touching his pant leg. So his pant leg, like one of the white cuffs, it's kind of, when you look at it, it's kind of pink.
She disappeared for a second.
And he's supposed to have a jingle bell at the end of his hat. And years ago, I never put it on, and now
Your cats would bite it anyway.
So welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. It is in the bleak midwinter. No, not yet. And it's also way too hot. We went and got a tree last night, and I'm like, it's too hot to get trees. But it was a little chilly. It was a little cold.
I feel bad. The kids, I see them, they've got their winter coat and they're wearing sweatshirts and stuff, and they come to class and it's 80 degrees outside.
I know. It gets so hot. But in the mornings,
it's cold. They have to wear them.
We're in that season where you collect coats in the back of your car.
Well,
Because you wear it in the morning.
when I was looking for that Claus T-shirt, I guess it may have been last night that I was looking for it. And so I was, piling through all my shirts in the closet, and I went through them again. I'm like, I know it, I saw it. And so by the time I finished going through all those, I was just sweaty and,
I'm looking for my Christmas shirt, and I'm sweating.
Yeah.
It's all wrong, Arizona.
I had to turn my fan in my room back on.
Yeah.
I know, it's very sad. But we're glad there's no snow, so we'll take it. But anyway, I think Beth's going to go first.
Yes, I'm going to go first. So, what I've been working on, of course, is for the Jingle Ball, the blue flowers, festive forest. Yeah, I got a couple of, a good picture and a better picture. So this is the Santa's in the way. The finished product, and this is this. Well, some people, this is, this different shape, and
She had
I
a
was
class
just
on
in-
it this morning.
yeah, I was just in class this morning, and so people were saying, well, what do you call that shape? And she goes, I don't know. And somebody had said, oh, my husband says it's a hexahedron. And I said, it looks like a muffin. And so then everybody started saying muffin.
So now
Started calling it, so now it's a muffin. And they're saying, oh, you could do an autumn muffin, you could do a beach muffin, you could do it, so I'm giving her all kinds of ideas. So this is a little bit better picture of the muffin before you put it together.
Muffin's a lot easier to say than recipe.
Yeah. But apparently Janine McGowan has a pattern called the bee, the bee greenhouse, I think, something like that. That is this same shape.
muffin shape.
Yeah, because she said what led to the shape is that she envisioned like those old-fashioned greenhouses that had the iron like girder kind of things, and they're all glass and closed, And so that's what she used for the bee greenhouse pattern. And then she made this festive forest one for the Jingle Ball. And so, like I said, everybody was like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, So yeah. So anyway, this is what it looks like all undone, laid out. So we had a very nice finishing class in there, and of course,
It reminds me of those maps that always had to.
yeah.
Yeah, the globes.
When you're, yeah.
Yeah, because, well, you can't draw, you can't put
can't.
a map of a round object,
Yeah.
Flat
So-
map of a round object.
So several people, most of the people in class had not finished it yet. But so she was talking about how you put it together, how you fill it and stuff like that. So it was really good. And of course, we're going to have the video of the class instructions available for 30 days afterwards. So with any luck. But anyway, so and also I guess she's sending out like printed instructions and all that. So I should be able to, whenever I get able to get around to finishing it. But anyway, so I worked on it a little more I guess as of last week or before, I had done part of it. But so I just started on the little hare, the rabbit that's here, and I started to go up here and do the parts of this tree. So this is just the first, the very left-hand segment.
When did Jingle Ball start?
The Jingle Ball started last night.
Friday night?
And
Four.
here
It started at
in
4.
Arizona, it was at 3. It started at 3.
Was it at 3?
Yeah, because
Oh,
that was when I texted you. You're still teaching, and because I thought, did I hear her come in? But it had already started at 3 o'clock.
On Friday.
Yeah, on Friday. So, and I did go like to the shopping hall area, and I was like looking at things because I was trying to decide, for each different designer, because they each have a separate shopping room.
You mean you don't have all of them already?
Well, that's what I wanted to look at them and see. I think I have that one already. Okay, so I'm mostly looking at the Jiggle Ball exclusives, which I know I don't have, and then like I think all of the designers have freebie patterns. And then also I haven't looked at it yet, but I think I saw a video of the Baubles collection of 2024 Jiggle Ball collection. So I think because I got last year's, and I guess you could get it in print or PDF, and I got PDF, but it was several pages. So I don't know if the printed ones are still available or if I'll just get it PDF. But anyway, so I hadn't pulled the trigger yet, but I was looking at what I'm going to buy, and so I could decide whether sort of cool-headed moment, so I don't get tempted to just buy everything. So the other thing was I have a finish. And sort of a double finish, if you will, because I finished my December Rabbit, and this is it. It was probably one of the least finished ones that I had, and let me see if I can, but because I had done the rabbits themselves, and I had done one of these little corner pieces, and I think I might have started, I don't even know if I'd started on these little arching greeneries. But so I finished it. I pushed on and finished it because I was so close to finishing it, and I thought, it was the first week of December, and I thought, if I finish this, I'll finish the whole series. And I realized as I was stitching it that there's a mistake here. This corner piece that I think I started with this corner, and then I was going, counting down the bunnies, and I apparently I miscounted. But all the other greenery and the other holly leaf things are in the right place compared to the bunnies, because I was counting off of the bunnies to place them. And then of course I realized at the end that this thing is in the wrong place, but it's only like one stitch off. So in one place there should be a gap between the greenery and the berries, and it's right up against it.
Well,
But in the
you
end,
fail.
but like I said, in the end, you can't really tell. And because the one thing I was concerned about is, because it's a square design, if the square would be correct, and it's probably off a little bit, but you can't really tell just by looking at it. You have to look really closely at it. But so from a distance, you can't tell. So I had already finished. January, February, March were fully finished. April and May I did earlier this year in the spring, and I don't know what I did with the patterns. I could put them somewhere, but I have the rest of them here. This is June, and that's this one here, and this is the one that has, yeah. And then there's July, which is this one here that I just finished last month. And there's August, which is this one. And September, there's September. And then October, this is the one where I had to change from the bunny colors to white because it was like a lighter brown and it didn't show up well on this fabric. So that's October and November. And on,
there you go.
yeah, and on the other side of November, there's this one here. This is either April or May. I think it's April. But I don't have the pattern for some reason, so. Anyway.
That's a whole year.
Yeah,
Nice.
the whole series is done, and now I just have to hold them someday. And actually, because of the way they're finished, I think I have to make cording for each of them, which means,
She
choosing.
doesn't have to, but on the last one she finished, she put cordons.
Well, yeah, January to February. I mean, January through March, I'll have cording. So I have to choose a color, to go with them. Yeah. But otherwise, oh, sorry, dog. Kick the dog. Otherwise, I'm done. That's me.
You're going next week?
Yes.
How's Jingle Ball for you?
Well, I only did it last night, really, and then today I was doing other things, and I also went to the shopping area, downloaded a few free patterns. Last night when I went to get in, see, I have to go into my computer and tell it, I hate Microsoft Edge, don't open Microsoft Edge, I hate it. But when I tried to click on the link to go to the ball, it opened Microsoft Edge.
Oh.
And it didn't work. I mean, it works, but it didn't work as well. I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
You can tell it to make Chrome your...
I know, but I just never have because it wasn't that important.
Right.
And this, we'll go into stories later about stuff, but I went into the So I went into the help thing on, but I was still in the Microsoft Edge. And he had me share my screen and we together got it to work, right? To where it would open Chrome, where the link would open Chrome. I was like, I put stop sharing. Why are you still hearing me? And he goes, because you still have the other browser. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not normally that dumb with computers. So I have really enjoyed being able to sit and talk with other stitchers while I'm doing something, because you know, a lot of the stitchers, they're like, there are no LMSs anywhere near us, you know, and so the only way they get to do that is going to retreats. And honestly, physically, my going anywhere to any retreat is just probably never going to happen. So this Jingle Ball is just really nice to be able to do. It was a brilliant idea for them. And so these are some older tiny modernist things that were on sale. They were slashed that they were up on her shop. And I happen to love narwhals.
So that's
He's wearing a Christmas hat.
Narwhal Viscornian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a really nice series.
He's got a wreath on his
I
horn.
think she did a Viscornian a month.
Yeah, she had a Viscornian every month.
Pardon us one moment. I think we need to scoot over because Eve, you're kind of off camera.
This is why the chairs are ruined. Okay. So, I have never seen this one before. Of course, Beth goes, I think I have it. I don't know how she doesn't know what she does, but she doesn't. She just collects. That's why she's in the 50 whips or more.
It's, pardon me, it's 30 years or more. I happen to have around 50.
And that's not even including the patterns you have. So I found this one, which to me it looks like Bambi. Doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was when you first showed it to me.
I think I had that one too.
So cute.
And Robert really liked it. And I thought,
Oh, nice.
yeah, he goes, this is my favorite one. He goes, I thought you said you weren't going to spend any money. I'm like,
It was free.
no, it wasn't. I was like, but look. He goes, yeah, that's cute. So right now I am working on my, do I have the picture? My Jingle Ball piece. I've showed it to you every week, but
Oh, the gingerbread.
yeah,
When's your class for that? Tomorrow?
tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna have to race home after church. So
Double check the time zone.
I
don't
know.
miss it.
I know. And that's the nice thing, is that they have a thing that adjusts for your time zone.
Oh, okay.
And the agenda thing adjusts for your time zone, and that's really nice. So this is Tiny Modernist Gingerbread House.
And did you see the other ones she has listed in the shopping home? Yeah, they're really cute.
I was really trying not to spend money, and yet I did anyway. So I've showed this to you before. This is the front. This is the one of the sides. The other side will look exactly the same if I ever finish it. This
You will finish it.
is the back.
Oh,
Let
did
me
you
see.
finish it?
I'm close to. I've got gumdrops.
Oh, yeah.
How
That's
cute.
cute.
It's got tons of backstitching. So yeah. So
Oh, that's really cute.
but.
Very nice.
I love it. I just absolutely love it. And I can't wait for my class. You know, it's not like I can put it together.
Alright, but you can learn and see.
But I can
everyone
see how
else's.
she did it and,
Right.
you know, what she thinks works best. And then I'll make up my own mind. Okay, so that's turn this off, I'm wasting battery. That's what I'm doing for the jingle ball right now. And then when I was in the stitching room, I wanted to work on something that didn't require this because I needed to charge it. When I was first in there, I was using it for my temperature check. So I pulled this out, which is one of my Whitco calls. This is Plant Pots by Darlene and Whimsy. I'm like, what the heck is this thing called? I know it. And when I started on it yesterday, this black cat was just past his nose. So the black cat's done.
Oh,
Nice.
So I can either work on the brown cat or I can find the threads for the green one. But I don't want to work on anything that I need all of my concentration for while I'm trying to talk to people, especially when my dog is sitting on my neck. So that's what I was working on, and I'll probably get the rest of the threads in a minute, and keep it out where I can work on it while I'm talking, because I don't have to concentrate. Okay, I have to concentrate a little bit, but not as much. And what I was working on before the Jingle Ball was hands-on design. I hear the bells. You know, I was noticing on her shop, I really love the way she thinks about the photographs for her pieces, because having the whole thing down here where you can see the whole thing,
Yes.
it's just, yeah, and there's some things, pictures on there where I'm like, she thinks about it.
Yeah,
to make
because,
sure,
yeah,
to make sure that you know what it is you're buying.
like those, sometimes the berries that you have, there's no photograph of the whole
If you
thing.
go to the website, you can
Okay.
kind of find, what it looks like, or if you've seen somebody who's done them. But I want to look at the pattern and know. And you get an idea from the pillow, but not really, So I just have to say, I really like her photography.
Photography.
Sorry, this is driving me bananas. Threads off my. So this is 32 count Marana Carré that used to be carried by. I looked yesterday when I was there. I didn't see Marana Carré, which made me mad. So this is how far I've gotten. Now I had the bell here, all the silver part done, but I put in the little house I think I mentioned last week that I stitched this house, and I went to stitch in this brown and I couldn't count it right, and I was having trouble figuring out where the right hole was, and I figured out what the problem was. This bell was 1 stitch off. So when I tried to count over like that, I'm like, something's wrong, I'm hitting the wrong place. No, this one was wrong over here. So I went ahead and put in that and fixed I'm in the process of fixing that. It was just the bottom 3 were 1 stitch too high. And that would have caused a problem when I tried to put in the middle part, so it was worth fixing. And now they're actually on the same plane. It was like, the bell and the line have to be in the right place. So, honestly, if the bell itself, the whole thing, was not where it belonged and put down where the bottom was, I wouldn't care, because if the whole thing is half a stitch bigger than it should be, so what? But they have to line up, which is a must. All right, and then last month of my temperature turtles.
Well, we've dealt with those turtles for a whole year.
I have. And, you know, I really like sea turtles, and so I know that I'll really love this when it's done, but the counting has been, it would be nice if I could count. I mean, anyway, it has been a very uninteresting month so far.
Let me see. Oh, I turned it more. I can see. Oh, green, blue, just green. Green.
Well, the week before, like the last week of November, I basically used the same thread, you know, all but one. And it was kind of like that this time too. You know, I used 3 threads.
I saw the 60s
Did you
are
even
coming.
color, you mean?
Yeah.
I saw that the 60s are coming, so maybe you'll get to pull out a different thread.
Yeah, well, January's, you know, had some blues, you know, and even a purple. So, we can always hope. You know, before I started doing these temperature charts, I had looked at other people doing them, and I was like, it's not worth it in Phoenix. It's always just the same temperature, hot. But you don't realize, well, I don't think I would remember the fact that last year, the entire month of July was so hot if I hadn't been stitching it every day and paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, because we're used to it being hot in July, but it was actually a record amount of days that were very, very hot. And this year, it's been very warm a lot longer. It's always temperate right now, you know, pleasant outside when you go outside during the day. You don't need an overcoat, you just, you know, in the mornings you might need a sweater. But you don't think about how fluctuating our temperature is. You know, I always thought, oh no, it's all the same. It's not. You remember that September that it rained and rained and rained and rained and flooded all the streets and flooded flooded the freeway?
Yeah.
If I'd been doing a temperature chart there, it would be very different.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed this. So I will have a temperature chart next year. I just don't know what it will be yet. Okay, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, I meant to say that the rabbits that I did were also on that Murano Carre that she was talking about, but they're done with Gloriana silks, one of her 2. So it was the first time I've ever used silks, so that was kind of fun.
As far as I'm concerned, I have not done a lot this week, but I did work more on this, which is part of Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. It's one panel of it, and it says, "I heard a bird sing in dark December, a magical thing and sweet to remember." And last week I was working, I had started part of this little pine cone, and I had started this branch coming down, and I told Beth before I left for the day, I was like, I'm really worried that this line is in the wrong place, because I'm worried that I'm going to get to the end of this branch, and because I could not, even I could count how many stitches there were. Like, I was looking at the fabric, and I'm like, there's no way. So I'm stitching, and boop, it hit the line exactly right. Miracles never cease.
Okay,
And
now I have a serious case of jealousy.
and then I was like, okay, I did the top of this pine cone in order to make this branch so that I can get to that bird. And I'm like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna finish the pine cone. So I finished the pine cone in one color, and then I started the second color from here. In the photo, you might not even be able to see the second color is just barely a shade darker. You can almost not see it. And once I put one across it, one cross stitching, I'm like, where is that? Where?
Yeah.
And I was sleepy, so I think it all worked out. It's fine. It's
It
just
looks-
texture.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
textury. So I have the bottom half of the pine cone to do in that second color here, and then eventually it'll have back stitch on it as well. And then so I was happy with that, and then I'm sick of this brown, but I'll probably come up and do the other branches just to and then put the birds in, which would be fun. And then after that, it's really just the little pine cones and the pine needles.
Yeah, is it the back stitched or long
Yeah,
stitched?
they're long stitched, and then so it's 2 birds, pine needles, and then another weird little crown down here. So I don't know. I really kind of want to get this done before Christmas to send out to Boston, but I probably will be able to. When I'm watching TV now, this is what I'm doing instead of knitting, which is why I'm working on my knitting today, because I kind of miss it. I haven't done it. I jokingly took it to work the other day, so I'm like, I'm gonna have an actual lunch hour. Ha ha ha. Never happened. But this is Hannah's. I know it looks like a baby shirt, but it's not. This is Hannah's.
I love that yarn.
At least I hope it'll fit her.
Now, if it was in teal, it would be better.
Right. But no, see, it's human size. It's just all shrunken up because it needs a bath. But anyway, yeah, I'm literally loving this. So I'm just working on it for her. This is just this was one of those projects where I found the yarn and I fell in love with the yarn, and I'm like, find something to make. So it's not critical. But let's see, I need to put my things on. And the other cross stitch that I started, the reindeer, I didn't work on it all this week. And I brought this for show and tell. Hold on. I had talked about it weeks ago, but this Beth actually made me. It's not mounted.
She didn't make you her the word, she just made it at the same time.
She made this, what?
Just being silly.
Oh, Beth made this for me.
That's a Teresa Kogut design.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, and it says, Santa knows your heart, that's true, so he's bringing wool for you. So, of course, that's all I would ever want for Christmas, but, so, I love this so much. And she, put, interfacing on the back already, and then, she got me this frame to put it on, and then it's been sitting in my house like this for, I don't know, 2 years? This is the second Christmas, I think? You gave it to me for Christmas. And then I took it and it was like, yes, I'll mount it. But so, well, I was just talking with them about doing something on this, how we should do it, and Eve's gonna help me, I'm the maker. But I'm gonna probably sand this because it's very scratchy. I even tried to take a Swiffer to it because it was sitting in my room, and the Swiffer just shredded itself on the top of this wood.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I need to sand it. And I think I'll sand it and paint it and maybe put something in the background Eve was talking about. There's papers or even maybe some fabric that would look neat. And I really want to hang it this year. So that's my goal, to hang it before Christmas. So maybe. And yeah, I'm just working on this knitting, and then that's it for me. Like I said, I've been busy and not been doing too much. So it's time for question of the week. Last week we asked you about your trees, artificial, real, early, late, and almost everybody who commented said artificial. They're just looking at it this morning, and which is great. I totally get that. We just got our tree Friday night, and last night, and put it up. Here's a picture of it naked.
Is it a
In
real
the
tree?
house.
It's a real tree?
Yes, oh yeah, it's a real tree, and I still have splinters right here because, okay, here's my Christmas tree story. Okay, wait, before I tell you my Christmas tree story, question of this week, we would like to know your most favored seasonal song, Christmas carol, winter song, whatever you dig. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can also tell someone you hate. So, and we'll tell you ours next week. So that's our question of the week. And I'm going to go into stories with my Christmas tree story. As we all know, as we all are, I am quite a perfectionist about many, many things. And I'm going to tell you the end of the story before I tell you the beginning of the story, which was at one point last night, I said, I was joking, but I said, I stood up, can we get another tree? Can we do over? Here's why. We went to a lot that's south of here, over by Wild Horse Pass. So
You didn't go to the one we normally go to?
that's when we went to last year.
Is it?
And it's bigger, and they have like monstrous trees, like for like a church or a mansion kind of size
We
tree.
have tall ceilings.
And we have big ceilings, even though we still only got a 7.5, but we just like, we feel like we were going out of town instead of over to the parking lot by Chick-fil-A, you know? So we went to that. That's where we went last year, and it's a little, you know, it's a little off-road, it's a little different. Anyway, and we looked around for a little while, and then boom, there it was, gorgeous, perfect tree, loved it. And I didn't take a picture of it when she pulled it out. Usually I do in the lot. I took a picture of it in the car, but I didn't take a picture of it standing there. And last year, when we bought the tree, we bought this system, because I'm always looking for a better watering system than laying on my back with a jug of water. And the one we had prior actually worked really well. It was a thing you kind of strapped to the tree, and it had a little cup, and it had a dipstick, so you could pull it out and see the level of the water, pour the water in at waist level, and check with the dipstick the depth. But it broke. So last year I bought this system. I was fished in, this thing where you drill a hole in the side of your tree, and you put in this little spigot. You tap it in, tap gently, until it goes all the way in, but it's got to be really tight, and it really has to fit up against the bark, and eventually the tree kind of heals around it. And what you do is it's a little spigot, it has a little tube on the end, and you stick tubing onto it, and up with gravity you put a tank of water up, like on a table, on your mantle, whatever, and you fill the water there, and it goes down, and it like seeps right into the trunk of the tree. And you know, and I saw them there, they worked, and so I bought it. And last year they didn't work. I couldn't, the tree was so hard, it gives you a special drill bit, and I could not get it in deep enough. So we had it in the tree, it would just leak, so we just watered it traditionally on my back with a jug of water. And so this year I was like, we're gonna make it work. So, because they had them for sale there, and I'm like, we have one at home. So I'm like, okay, it says it needs to be a foot above the end of the tree and below the bottom branches. So we get home, and I measure, you know, into our holder up a foot, and I'm like, okay, and like that's a good height for the bottom branches. And then I'm so stupid, because it said, you know, that this hole needs to be below the bottom branches. So I put the measuring thing on the tree, and basically right at a foot there was a level of branches. And then, so Mark was taking off branches in the bottom, and I was like, well, take those off the right there, that one level right there at a foot, and I'll put the thing there. But what I didn't realize, and I didn't like take the bottom ones off and then put it into the stand to see, was that the next rung of branches was like, I don't know, 3-4 inches higher than that. So I didn't think about it, and I drilled into the poor little tree, and I stuck that thing in, and I tapped it in, but I couldn't get it all the way in. And then I started tapping, and it says in the instructions, be careful not to break the thing. Well, I broke the thing. I broke the little tip. and but I still couldn't get it in all the way deep enough. I probably needed to drill it even deeper, whatever. So I'm like, fine, we just won't deal with the little system. I'll just lay on my back with a jug of water. Then we put it in the stand. And as I'm sure you noticed in the picture, the lowest branches are very high up off the ground and not how I usually like them. I mean, I don't like it when they touch the ground, and I don't like it when it's so hard to get under there to water. But I like them. I would have liked that last run. And I was so, and then we put it in and we get the thing screwed in and it wobbles. It's wobbling. And what it is that tree stand that we've had, it's one of those big triangular base ones that you see everywhere now. And we've had it for years. We lived in the garage, as you well know. It's 100 and who knows what all summer, and which means your garage is even hotter, right? So that thing, I'm sure, over all these years has worked because the tree was in solid, but the base was like no, we are not having a rock. That's not what rock around the Christmas tree means.
Especially with cats.
So then we left it in there on the sidewalk. We always put it together on the sidewalk outside. And I'm like, well, we put water in because I'm like, Eli and I are going to go buy another tree stand. And so we put water in the base and just left it there. But it was sitting there outside, without a tree skirt or anything, and it just looked so naked on the bottom, and the bottom branches are up so high, and I was like, I messed it up, I messed up our tree. I mean, it was not a cheap tree. And I jokingly was like, can we get another one? So when we went, we go to Target, and I'm like, it's December 6th. They had one big one left and a stack of little ones that are like 6 foot and under.
The tree holders?
The tree stands. They had one big one, and I'm like, I've gotta go. And I'm looking at it, and it doesn't have the hardware taped in, like the little ones had the hardware taped into the side. And I had picked it up, and I'm like, there's no hardware with this. And I'm like, I guess I'll have to go to another store.
That's why it was still there.
And Eli goes, look, there it is. It had fallen out and was sitting on the shelf. So I grabbed it. I'm like, let's go. So so we get home, and Mark was like, well, I can cut, some off the base so that it's not so tall.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, but then it's going to look stupid short. Like it's a good height. It's a really good height for our house. So I'm like, well, let's just put it in, and we'll take it in the house. And if it looks weird in the house, then we'll think about it. So but like all night, poor Eli, all the time in Target. I lift it up. So anyway, we get home, and I put this tree skirt around it and put it there and put it in the house. And I'm like, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And now, I can water it without, and the cats really aren't going to be, messing and, Hobbs had to kind of sit up to get to the bottom branch a little bit. So it's not as convenient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it looks a little naked in the bottom.
You can pile presents under there.
It's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, and actually presents can go under. And anyway, so I was like, but it's really pretty. It's really pretty. We're gonna have our decorating party tonight. We always put on music and get finger foods, and then we decorate and.
In that Ginny McGowan class, she was talking about how she likes to watch the Lord of the Rings.
Well, didn't they all come out at Christmas time?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, the associations. Yeah, no, that's a good one. But
I like to watch Die Hard at Christmas.
Yeah.
Not the other ones, just the original.
So that's my Christmas tree story. But it looks really nice.
Did the tree scratch you or something else?
Oh, but when I was holding the base to drill the hole,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't wearing gloves, and I come away like the whole time at Target. I had these like tiny micro. I still feel a couple micro. You know, you get those tiny micro splinters,
Mm.
and I can't see it. I've washed my hands. I've soaked my hands. I've you know, and I thought, oh, I should use. I thought about tape.
Well,
My head.
in War of the Worlds, it says your body will just.
I know.
Push that.
It will, but yeah. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, it hurts.
yeah. But
No, I meant. You said you had a scratch on your cornea. How did
oh,
that
not my
happen?
cornea, but on my eyeball. No,
Oh.
yeah. So that didn't happen with my tree.
Oh.
For weeks, I want to say weeks, my left eye's been itching and watering, just running like a faucet. And itching, just my left eye. Usually when I have allergy problems, it's both eyes, right? But this is just my left eye. It just water, itch. And I have a very bad habit of rubbing my eyes. Actually, probably in this video, you see me doing this, like this, you know, because that eye was itching so bad. And I have a very bad habit of rubbing. So I don't know if I did it or if the reason it was itching and watering was because, but I went to urgent care yesterday and they found a scratch on the top of my eyeball way up here. And he flushed it and looked at it and couldn't see any foreign body, but I must have done something. And so I'm on eye drops now, and so that was a lot of fun. And so what happened was it was itching, watering, and then all of a sudden one day it was horribly painful. And like, because I went like this to kind of get the tears, and I pulled my eyelid and I could feel up here, it's awful pain. And Thursday at work, I had to take a washcloth with a hot compress to work to like hold it, and it would just kind of feel a little better, and for a little while, and then it would start hurting again. So that's why Friday morning, I'm like, I gotta go in. I gotta see what's wrong. And I woke up and I told my boss Thursday night, I'm gonna be late because I'm gonna go to the urgent care. Because I knew if I called my ophthalmologist, they'd be like, sure, we'll see you in January.
Yeah.
So I went to urgent care, and well, actually, I woke up. I had told my boss I was going in. I woke up and I'm like, it kind of feels better. Maybe I don't need to go. Maybe I'm being, but my eyelid still is swollen a little, and I'm like, well, it's still swollen. It's red, and the pain is better, but
I was wondering if they were going to give you one of those, like, you know,
yeah, I wondered that too. If I should have
patch
to rest it,
bandages or
but
whatever, yeah.
but he didn't say.
That's why I asked you if
Well-
you were allowed to drive, because I got something in my eye at a water park in Albuquerque. I don't know what. I don't remember anything in my eye, but my eye started hurting so badly that I could not stop crying because it felt like somebody was stabbing me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't blink, you know. So every time you blink, it was like.
Yeah.
The nurse said, "Stop crying." I'm like, "Can I poke something in your eyes?" What I wanted to tell him.
The same thing happened to Mark. He was cutting we have this, it's not really a cactus, but it's a giant succulent. It's one of those big
Yeah.
by the front door. And he cuts as it grows, he cuts some of the little petals off. And somehow, he was wearing goggles, but somehow he still got something in his eye. And he came in, he's like, I got dust in my eye. And he's sitting there, and he's like, and he's just like flood of water and of his, tears. And he can't close his eye. I'm like, honey, you need to go get that looked at. And they were like, yeah, there's something about the sap of those kind of plants that is actually very dangerous to your eye. And they were like, they flushed his eye and they got it all. But yeah, he was hurting.
Yeah, my eye doctor at the time, he gave me this. He said that I had a scratch on my cornea, and he gave me this goo I was supposed to put in my eye several times, and he said, you can't drive until it heals. And I went back for a follow-up, and he wasn't there. A different eye doctor saw me. And I found out that he would help out at his parents' farm, and he got run over by a tractor. And he
Run
lived
over
through
dead?
it.
Oh,
He lived through it, but he had crushed his chest basically, and so it took him a long time to be able to go back. But he was such a good eye doctor that I was like, if he ever comes back, I want to see him again.
wow.
But yeah, I was like, he got what?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, the acoustic neuroma boards that I go to, a lot of people have, you know, like facial numbness, whatever, from their surgery. And one of the things that some people have is they have to, like, when they go to sleep, they have to tape their eyelid shut because their eye doesn't shut properly because
It
of
dries
the
out.
nerve damage, and your eye gets spread out. And on mine, you know, I don't really have a noticeable problem necessarily, but I do have some facial numbness. I can't really, you know, feel things correctly. But my eye gets to where, because there's not as much sensitivity as you usually have, and so if my eye gets dry, like my tear ducts don't know to you know, to lubricate my eye properly. So like whenever I do something like when I take a shower or anything like that, my eye gets the water, I guess, in the shower dries my eye out, whatever. And so like the day after I shower or the night after whatever I get out of the shower, you know, my eye will be very dry and everything. So I have some drops that are just lubricating drops that I put in there. But on the other hand, when I eat, my eye waters like crazy, you know. And like sometimes I can't even see because my eye watering so much.
What is that? Happened to Mary Lou where part of her face?
Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
Mm-hmm.
That also causes
Your eye to not shut.
your eye to not shut properly, and Mary Lou's had issues with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, you know, I remember when that she'd had it before when she was younger, and when it happened again, she tried to go to the doctor right away, and they said, well, there's nothing wrong. And I read later on that if they get treated right away, it can minimize the effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
so,
Anyway.
yeah.
But
Well, I'm
Was I
glad
gonna
that you
say-
don't have
yeah.
to wear patches and all
no,
that.
so the drops say that it can blur your vision and to not like that it might affect your ability to drive, but it hasn't. I don't know. Well, it's only one eye too, and I don't know if that's causing it. But I had a rehearsal this morning and I could barely see. I don't know if my eyes are going bad, but anyway. But yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. To at least he didn't tell me I couldn't drive, but so it's been painful, but I think it's getting better. Because he also thinks I have an infection.
You have too much crafting to do to have problems.
I have too much to do in general. Yeah, it's really rough. Okay, so funny story. I went to last night after we got the tree. We're like, let's get dinner, and where should we go? And so we decided on Panda Express, and we went through drive-thru. I pulled up. She's like, "Hello, what would you like?" And I said, "I'm gonna get a 2-entree plate with blah 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 blah." Okay, anything else? Yeah, I'll take another 2-entree plate with blah 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 blah. Okay, anything else? And I'd like 3 large drinks. What would you like for the drinks? Iced tea. Would you like sweetener in that? You want unsweet or sweet tea? Like, I am not exaggerating. That's how she spoke. Every sentence was, okay, how would you like that? What would you like with that? Would you like chow mein or lo mein? I mean, would you like rice or lo mein? Would you like, do you want any sauces? Which kind of sauces?
Like,
Like she was a computer.
I was like, what is happening? What is wrong with you?
On
So
the
then,
other- yeah.
and Mark's like, well, they say they're making robots. So I went up to the window, and she says, that'll be such and such. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I gave her my card, and she's like, here's your card and receipt. I'm like, are you having a problem? Like, have you never, like, said anything with an inflection in your life?
Are you a robot? On the other
What's
hand,
going on?
Robert wanted breakfast this morning. I went over to Taco Bell because they serve breakfast until 11. And of course, neither one of us were ready to go anywhere until after 10. So I get there, and Robert always wants the same thing. So I ordered it, and then one was just a crunch wrap, the other one was a crunch wrap as a combo. And so she said, she said, so you want 2 crunch wraps? I'm like, yes. One is this, one is the combo. And then I went on and ordered what I wanted for myself, and she's like, well, what did you want to drink with the other one? And I'm like, I told you I wanted an orange juice, because I had. And so for mine, I said a Diet Pepsi. I didn't want a big Diet Pepsi or anything. They ended up giving me one this big, but I knew I was getting this, so I didn't care. Plus, Robert also bought me a Dutch, so I have plenty of drinks right now. But I normally do not taste it right away. But this time, I was like, oh, yeah, I need a diet soda right now. And I tasted it before I even left the drive-through lane. I was past the window, but I hadn't left the drive-through lane. And I went, that is not diet soda. So I got back in line, and I said, you gave me a regular Pepsi instead of a Diet Pepsi. I mean, things happen. I wasn't angry, Unfortunately, I was already there, still there, So I pull up to the window, and her boss was talking to her about something, and give her that. And she goes, here's your Diet Pepsi, I'm really sorry, and here's your other bag because we forgot one of your
You're lucky.
I'm like, if I had come home and not had that, I'd have been so mad.
That Pepsi was fortuitous.
Yeah, it
How
was.
funny. How funny. Oh my gosh. But all the way home, I was like, to Eli, I was like, hold the drinks. Okay, let's go home.
Well, my adventure this week was I stayed at
You have to know why first.
Yes, yeah.
We had 2 showings.
Yeah, we had 2 showings of the house, which it's looking up. We're hoping that one of the guys he's very interested in buying a house, and so we're just hoping that everything works out, that needs to work out. But anyway, but we had gotten a call about a showing at 1 o'clock, and then just shortly after that, I guess, we got a call about another showing that same afternoon, like at 4:30, right? And so ordinarily, when somebody comes to look at the house, we have to leave, right? So because of our pets, I go through all this stuff where I take the litter box out and and everything else, and then put the cats in the carriers, and we go in and she has her dog, and then we go,
And we go and get a pup cup and
ditch. We just, did a little while, they're jogging around, and my cats don't like it, they hate it. My cat Puck is sitting in the back seat in his little carrier going, the whole time. And, but anyway, so we thought, well, with these 2 back-to-back showings, basically, it's one's at 1 o'clock and one's at 4:30, and so it's going to basically take up, the whole afternoon. And we can't leave the poor cats in there the whole time.
she can't come in and let them loose and
Yeah.
then try to pick them up again, because there is no way they would let her.
Yeah. And so, because I have to use all kinds of trickery and deception, because the cats are not allowed in the closet. But, so when I open the closet, they love to go in there. So when I open the closet, And
Pretend you don't see them going in.
yeah, and Snow went in there and I shut the door real quick. and then Puck, fortunately, Puck was just sitting there and I grabbed him and threw him in the bathroom. And then, and then I finished, doing whatever I have to do in the room. And then to get Snug out of the closet, I have to make sure he doesn't run, because last time he got out of the closet before I was ready for him and he hid under the bed. I had to get Robert, we had to move the bed around and everything else so he could grab the cat. But anyway, so Snug, I sort of captured right away and put him in his carrier. And it's really hard because I had to buy him. I had for both cats when I moved out here. I had just regular hard-sided carriers that you see all the time. But now Snug has gained so much weight. I could not get him in the carrier earlier this year when when I was trying to do that. And so I ended up having to buy him a soft-sided carrier that's a little bit larger, but it opens up at the top, so I can kind of stuff him in there, So anyway, I got him in his carrier this time, and then I had to go get Puck out of the bathroom, and Puck's like cussing at me the whole time. But fortunately, he was not not trying to scratch me or not trying to get away or anything. But he's very mad because he knows what's going to happen. He has to get his carrier. But anyway, so I stuck him in there, and then, but I had, we had decided that a hotel room would be the best bet. And there's a Motel 6 not far from here, and so I had called. I had looked at it, looked up information about it the night before, and it was a little bit hard to tell what was going on, whatever. So in the morning I had called them, and they have a check-in time of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so so I had called them and talked to them and I explained my situation, and so they said, well, we'll try to get you an early check-in, but I can't guarantee that we have that availability, but they'll call you. So I was waiting, doing whatever, and then finally at the last minute, I think I had basically done most of the cleanup that I had to do, and I was just waiting on this phone call, and they said, well, we're not going to be able to get early check-in at this one, but we have this other location, not too far away, that they will have early check-in availability there. So I called and we arranged it, whatever. So, but I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to spend the night or not, because it just depends on how I feel and what the room's like and whatever else is going on. So I took my stitching with me and went to this room. And it was okay. It wasn't a really, fancy schmancy room. It's just, Motel 6, But, so I was there, and, the house was being shown or whatever. And so then Eve called me and she said, well, do you think you want to spend the night or you want to come back? And I said, yeah, I'm going to go home because, and the cats the whole time, Puck was having a good time. He was kind of looking around the room and going here and going there. And Snug was hiding under the bed the whole time. And I was so afraid that I was not going to be able to get him out. Yeah. But fortunately, shortly after Eve called, she was on her way over, and he popped out, to kind of look around because he was kind of scared, kind of discombobulated, being in a strange place. But so he had popped out shortly after that. So I grabbed him and went to put him in the carrier, and he was actually very happy to get in his carrier. Yeah, it's like, oh good, a familiar place. This room is scaring me. But so I got him in, and I had shut Puck in the bathroom. so to get him, he was still
Like you're going home, you big baby.
Yeah, but so Eve, came to pick me up. So it was probably 5-ish something when she got me.
So you staying in hotels by the hour?
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I felt like I was one of those people that go to the no-tell motel for that rents rooms by the hour, But
well, the thing about this particular hotel, it's close to where I used to work, and there was a day when we couldn't take our people where we needed to take them because there was a police action there, because there was an active shooter there, and the people that were in the hotel couldn't go out, nobody could go in, you know, and I was like, what hotel are you going to? She goes, do you know where it is? Yes.
Well, the nice thing was I was able to.
But they were very nice.
Yeah, they were very kind about, you know, the whole situation and everything, and I was able to order a pizza while I was there, so I, you know,
That's
things
fun. Had a little party.
Yeah.
By the way,
one thing,
that shooting thing had nothing to do with Motel 6. It wasn't
Yeah.
somebody
yeah.
connected to it at all. Some guy had nothing to do with it. He just pulled in there. 'Cause it had a parking lot.
But the one thing I was kind of, you know, I was like less than excited about was, I guess, the little air conditioner unit kind of thing under the window. You know, it had, you could turn it up or down, but I didn't know if that was like just, I was trying to tell, is that the fan level or whatever?
Oh.
But it had like a little up and down button, and then the button where you could turn the fan, I guess, on or off, it was like missing. There was a hole there, and so I couldn't really adjust it very well. And so it was kind of coldish in there, you know. It would have been nice, you know, I guess because it was basically hot outside, you know, it might have been nice to begin with, but I wasn't very hot. I was kind of cold. And so, you know, so I wasn't like, you know, a nice cozy little hotel room or whatever. I was kind of chilly. And then the television, the television, like the picture in the television was a little dim. And so, you know, I was like turning off the lights, trying to see, you know, so I could get a better view of the TV. And it was, you know, just, of course, just some random show, I don't know what it was. But then, like, at one point, I was watching and I looked up and the screen was black. Like, the picture had you know, was gone. And you could still, I think you could still hear it, but there was no picture. And then at some point, the picture came back on again. So I'm like, oh yeah, this TV's on this last legs. But, you know, but it was a nice place. The only thing is, like, when I ordered the pizza, I didn't have, like, any napkins or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just used the washcloth. I'm like, I hope this pizza grease comes out of the washcloth.
They will.
But yeah, but it was, you know, it was a good place because I was able to stretch out in the bed and just relax, you know, for a few hours while they looked at the house and so, yeah. But
that's a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Well, and I told her, I might have to wait and come get you till after rush hour. Because,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a very busy
to get
street.
from one north side of South Mountain to the other side of South Mountain, there's not very many ways to go. And so those roads become parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I guess the work that they've done on the 143 has eased some of the traffic on Priest, because that hotel's on Priest. And I was like, I could turn left? Wait a minute. And then when I was coming out,
Yeah.
I can get in traffic? What the heck?
Yeah.
Because that road is...
Those feeder roads are nice now. It's kind of
What
cool.
feeder roads?
All the feeders along the freeway that do all those different things.
Yeah, we just were on the one that went to
Well,
Broadway.
yeah,
We did.
when we were,
Yeah, but I'm just saying that all of that has alleviated that whole area. I think that whole area is better.
when we were on our way back, her son had called us and said, they're still there, they're still looking at the house. And so we're like, oh no. But then by the time we got home, they had just left, I guess. But it was a good sign because it was, you know, the guy was considering.
Looking more, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. Well,
yeah,
hopefully that'll work out.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of just hearing complaining.
I just want to get my clothes back.
Okay,
No,
she
the
complains about
bad-
clothes. I complain about the kitchen.
The bad thing is, yeah, really. The bad thing is, though, what that actually means is you're gonna have to move.
I know. Yeah, it's like, oh, I have to pack
Now
up
you
those
gotta
crap.
move. But you know what? The hard part's done, though.
No,
Yeah.
the hard part is memorizing the new address.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
The hard part was gonna be changing everything.
That's
Yeah.
what they
She
make
still
tattoos.
asks me what the zip code
I
is.
do.
I don't know what the zip code is here either. But
Yeah,
you
but
just
you don't live here.
you can make a tattoo. Just get a tattoo paper. What's your address? Oh, here you go.
Well, when I first moved here, there was a time when I had to look at my driver's license to see what
Yeah.
because when we all moved into this house, my parents had to get a new driver's license, because had changed states, and so I had updated mine at the time, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, I could look at my license to see what my address is, and as a matter of fact, there was some website. I can't remember what I was going to do. Oh, I think maybe it was like a phone, but it was some kind of a verification thing where you had to put your zip code in there to verify who you were or whatever. And I thought I had the numbers all mixed up, whatever. And they're like, we don't have, this doesn't match what our records are, so you have to call us back again or something like that. Like, and then I looked at it like, oh yeah, okay, that's right.
Well, I'm gonna have to go.
Yes.
I have my my office party. I'm so excited. Having our office party, and I decided that I don't think she tunes in. That I'm whispering in case she tunes in.
Like,
my boss, she's great, and so I sent an email. I had invited all of our whole marketing.
she won't see this before the party.
Well, it comes out on Sunday, so she possibly could, but I don't think she will. She's going to be working Sunday afternoon, so I'm sure she'll be busy all day. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I emailed everyone in the department, and I'm like, let's get her a gift from the department. So we ordered a digital frame, like the one I have, where she can have pictures of her kids and everything there in her office. And everybody contributed. And I was looking for a card, and I went to the Fry's downtown, which has a very, very small card and party section. And I was looking at all the cards and the Christmas cards. I was like, man, I don't like anything. Well, the Symphony's Christmas campaign has had this 'Tis the Season, and this clip art that our designer chose for this postcard. And I had a very positive response to it. I thought it was really, it's like pinks and purples instead of red and green. And usually I don't go for that kind of stuff, but it just felt festive and happy and cute, but she hated it because she's like, I don't want to use clip art, but everybody else loved it. And I think it's really, so basically we have used that in all of our like program insert ads and things like that. 'Tis the season. And so I was standing at Fry's and I saw a card that said "Tis the season," something, but it was like all the cards they have there, like either they're money holders or, because it's like a really tight, literally the shelf is this wide because it's a downtown store and it's jam crammed in downtown.
Is that the one that's got? Is it a double two-story?
It's got an elevator because there's an apartment complex above it, and it's not 2 stories though, but it's got a little restaurant.
They were still building it.
But it's very, very small. It's very small. So, anyway, but I saw a card there. They're either like money holders or they're those big cards that open and it's got a thing and it plays the music and I'm like, oh. So, but I saw one that said "'Tis the season" and I was like, So, because I do a lot of graphic design, like in-house. So I went, I'm gonna make it. So I went and I put that whole thing on there. "'Tis the season," Phoenix Symphony on a big 11x17, and I wrote a message and then folded it up, like you do in school, and had everybody sign it. So, because I know she hates it so much, I'm like, this is perfect. But anyway, it'll make her laugh. And so we're gonna give her that gift for everybody at the party. I'm so excited. It'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, I have to go get stuff. I have to get all the fixings
I just realized I might be missing my jingle ball
Well,
class.
we better go.
I don't even remember, I can't remember off the top of my head when it was.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again. We hope your holiday preparations are going well and that things are good for you this season. They're doing Jingle Ball. If you're doing Jingle Ball, we hope you're having fun.
Yes.
Take some time out to visit with us this weekend. So thanks so much. And we will see you back next week.
Yes.
Bye.